Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving into a genuinely fascinating and honestly highly effective strategy for helping shy children build confidence. We're drawing some fantastic insights from a recently published article all about youth dance programs, and I am so excited to share this with you. If you've ever watched a child cling to a caregiver's leg while other kids run off to play, or maybe watched them shrink to the back of a busy room, well, you know exactly how heartbreaking that can feel. So today, we're going to look at how the structured world of dance is being used as an incredibly practical, proven pathway to help these kids finally step out of their shells.
Okay, so let's kick things off with a very real struggle for so many parents, educators, and caregivers out there. How do you support a child who just absolutely hates to speak up? We're talking about the kids who totally freeze at recess, the ones who dread open-ended playtime, or who quietly panic when they're asked to participate in standard classroom activities. It's a really tough spot to be in, right? Both for the child experiencing it and for the adults who are just desperately trying to help them.
Because as our source material brilliantly points out, shyness isn't just a passing mood. It's not a minor inconvenience for these kids. It can feel like a literal wall. We're talking about a massive physical and emotional barrier that completely blocks them from participating in open-ended group settings. They aren't just stubbornly choosing not to play. They often feel entirely locked out of the experience by their own anxiety.
To figure out how to dismantle that wall, here's our quick roadmap for today. 1. The wall of shyness. 2. Movement over words. 3. Strategies for gradual exposure. 4. Group connection, no spotlight. And finally, number 5, finding the right program.
Let's jump right in. Section 1. The wall of shyness.
Let's unpack this a bit. Shy children fundamentally struggle with what the article calls visibility. The sheer pressure of standing out in a group, the underlying fear of being evaluated by peers or adults, or the total dread of having to initiate contact in unstructured settings, all of that can cause their participation to just completely stall out. Think about it. When a teacher says, "Okay, everyone, go find a group and play," well, that lack of structure, it's a nightmare for a shy child. They freeze up because the social demands are simply way too high.
Which brings us to Section 2, movement over words.
So traditional group activities usually require a lot of verbal leading, and they absolutely thrive on unstructured time, which, as we just covered, creates immense social pressure. But in a structured dance environment, the attention shifts completely. It shifts to movement and rhythm. Kids participate through familiar sequences and physical cues. Honestly, the beauty of it is that they don't need to speak a single word to contribute. This effectively removes the primary source of their anxiety and offers them this wonderfully safe alternative entry point into group dynamics. How exactly is this achieved, though? Let's look at Section 3, Strategies for Gradual Exposure. Good instructors, they don't just throw kids onto a stage and tell them to perform. That would backfire entirely. Instead, they use a highly calibrated method of gradual exposure. It starts with Step 1, individual practice, where a child can safely master small steps all on their own. Then, once they feel capable, they gently move to Step 2, paired activities. This is super low-stakes interaction with just one other person. Finally, they reach Step 3, larger groups. This sequence is absolutely crucial because it allows a child to build momentum naturally, without ever feeling singled out or overwhelmed. Furthermore, the really skilled teachers out there prioritize what the source material calls success markers. So instead of demanding flawless perfection, they praise the effort. They provide incredibly clear visual demonstrations so the child always knows exactly what to do, no guesswork required. And crucially, they offer simple choices, maybe letting the kids choose between 2 different movements or picking the music style for the warm-up. Why does this matter? Well, because these small choices help children experience agency. And as any educator will tell you, feeling a true sense of control and agency is just a vital ingredient for building self-belief. Some studios actually take this empowerment a step further by crafting intentionally sensory-friendly sessions. They'll use things like short warm-ups, highly predictable transitions, and deliberate calm-down moments. For a shy child whose nervous system might literally be stuck on high alert, this kind of structure allows them to regulate their energy. They can stay comfortable and grounded even as the class scales up in interactive energy.
Moving right along, we have Section 4, Group Connection, No Spotlight.
Group dance creates this profound sense of belonging by fundamentally shifting the social dynamic. Think about traditional settings. They often involve competing for attention, right? Which immediately triggers a fear of judgment or being watched. But dance focuses on coordinating together. Through partnering and circle formations, children synchronize with others and follow a shared timing.
When you're in a circle, moving in rhythm with everyone else, that terrifying feeling of being individually watched just kind of melts away. You're no longer in the spotlight. You are part of a unified whole.
And within this synchronized environment, social confidence starts to develop organically through repeated, low-stakes interactions. We're talking about things as simple as smiling at a partner, maybe matching a specific physical move, taking turns gracefully, or even temporarily helping out as the line leader. Over time, repeating these tiny, low-pressure actions completely strengthens the exact social skills that shy children usually find terrifying, like initiating contact and staying engaged with a group.
Okay, let's talk application. Section 5. Finding the right program. Now, it is really important to state that not all dance classes are created equal. Actually, not every studio is going to be a safe space for an introverted child. Parents and caregivers absolutely must look for programs that explicitly emphasize encouragement and a clear structure. You want an environment that maintains respectful boundaries and uses age-appropriate pacing. But most importantly, you need to observe the teacher. Are they actively monitoring a child's comfort level, or are they just obsessing over their technical performance?
So, when you're evaluating a prospective program, there is one critical question you literally have to ask. How do instructors handle participation levels? Seriously, the answer to this is going to tell you everything you need to know about their whole philosophy.
When you ask that question, you want to hear that the program offers safe, flexible participation options. For instance, do they allow a highly anxious child to just sit and observe the class first? Zero pressure. Can a child opt into gradual involvement at their own pace? Do they provide alternatives, supportive roles for kids who are a bit hesitant to jump right into the main activity? Programs that openly communicate these kinds of options greatly reduce anxiety up front, and that encourages the child to feel safe enough to just keep showing up, week after week.
Ultimately, the goal here isn't about turning every single kid into some spotlight-seeking stage performer. As our source so beautifully notes, it's about giving them the tools to safely take up space in the world, one step, one rhythm, and one successful try at a time. So, I'll leave you with this thought to chew on. Where in your child's life could you potentially replace the pressure of words with the safety of movement? Thanks so much for joining me for today's explainer, and I'll catch you next time.